Hey, what y'all say, everybody? Today's video, we're going to be making a 60-pound batch of sausage. We're going to smoke the entire thing. We'll do half green onion, and the other half we'll do jalapeno and pepper jack. And so follow along with me as I kind of take y'all step by step on how that process is done. So now that we all cleaned up, I'll go ahead and get the pork out, and then I'll start cutting it up to where it'll fit inside the grinder. So what we have is a 60-pound box of pork shoulder. It's picnic meat. I use a local supplier here, and it's already boneless. It's exactly 60 pounds every time, and it really is a time saver. And the quality of meat is actually really good. It's got a very good fat to meat ratio. So this is primarily what I use when I'm making my sausage. So now that we have all of our meat cut up, I'm going to go ahead and throw it back in the refrigerator so we can keep it as cold as possible while I get the grinder and start setting all of that stuff up. Before I put this back in the fridge, I just wanted to show y'all the quality of the meat. A lot of people use Boston butt, and I did for a very long time, and in fact still do when this isn't available. But the shoulder meat, I find it's got a really good fat to meat ratio. The fat renders down very well while we're smoking it. It leaves with a very juicy, nice quality sausage. So the grinder that I use is an LEM number 32. It's a 1.5 horsepower grinder. Love it, absolutely love it. Been having it for about 3 years now. It does everything I ask and more. I use this grinder a lot. Never had a single issue with it. Today we'll actually be using the dual grind head attachment. I picked this up probably 2 months ago, I guess now, and I've used it 6, 7 times now, and I get absolutely fantastic results. In sausage making, I've always ever ran it through a coarse grind and then a fine grind. Well, that's obviously very time consuming, but it is worth it. The fat renders out a whole lot better because it's being ground a lot finer, and totally worth it. But anyway, so I discovered this attachment, like I said, a couple months ago, and I picked it up to give it a try, and I've used it multiple times, and I absolutely love it. Total time saver, especially when doing large batches, and like I said, very well worth the money. I would strongly suggest looking into it if you have any need for it. Okay, now that we have everything ready to go, we'll go ahead and start grinding. Okay, so now that we have all of this ground up, we'll go ahead and put it back in the refrigerator. I'll get a lot of this grinder parts and pieces cleaned up. We'll leave the grinder out for the mixer. We'll go ahead and season everything, mix it, stick around. So the style mixer I use, it's an LEM brand 50-pound capacity tilt style mixer. It's obviously powered by the grinder. And so what I did, I took our 60 pounds of already ground pork that we have, and I put it into two 30-pound totes. I already weighed out the in-house seasoning blend for two 30-pound batches, and I have all of our cheese and all that other stuff separated also. So we'll go ahead and start the mixing. So I use a metal spoon to kind of help guide it off the sides a little bit. It kind of starts to want to build up around the edges. Funny story, I actually used, I've learned a long time ago, very long time ago, right around the time I got this mixer, I grabbed a wooden spatula off the shelf there to kind of help do what I'm doing now. And didn't take long, wooden spatula got lodged in there, started splittering everywhere, had to throw the entire batch of sausage out. So pro tip, metal. I'd much rather deal with a metal bent spoon than splinters everywhere. All right, now that our meat is all mixed up, we'll go ahead and empty it into this tray. This is where the tilt feature is actually very, very handy. So there's a locking mechanism here. You just kind of pull it, and there's all these different angle settings, and you just kind of select whatever one you want. And so you make sure to lock it back in place. Then we can turn the mixer on and just kind of let it fold out into the menu. All right, so now that we have our first batch taken out of the mixer, we'll go ahead and start our second. All right, so now that everything's been cut, ground, seasoned, mixed, all that good stuff, we'll go ahead and clean up a lot of this equipment, and we'll start getting things ready for the next installment. The next video will cover stuffing, smoking, packaging, all of that stuff. So please stay tuned and be on the lookout for part 2.